With unsettling calmness, Gina asserted she had indeed commissioned the drawings from Jin. Her friend stood incredulous, demanding confirmation of this impossible claim. Jin's mind reeled. When had this fictional request occurred? They'd never exchanged words. Was the school's untouchable Queen Bee actually protecting him? The same Gina whose destructive charm made even the toughest guys tread carefully, whose beauty came with razor edges. This defied all logic. The friend pressed again about the sketch, unable to accept Gina's explanation. Gina elaborated that she'd wanted to promote her controversial shirt, too revealing for photographs, through drawings instead. When the friend asked why she'd kept this secret, Gina simply shrugged. As they walked away, Jin grappled with possible motives. Was this about avoiding association with a loser like him? Or was some future blackmail coming? He could only hope the matter would now disappear. The friend's scornful question about why Gina would ever involve someone like Jin hung in the air. Gina's casual reply about him being at least useful struck Jin like physical blows. Slumping at his desk, he watched them from a distance until the friend noticed hallway commotion. Some unfortunate soul being mocked. She eagerly joined the cruelty, labeling the victim a loser. Meanwhile, Gina remained seated, barely acknowledging her friend's antics. Her full attention stayed fixed on Jin's drawing, spread openly across her desk. Her expression showed unmistakable satisfaction, fingers tracing the lines with quiet pleasure that unsettled the air around her. As the empty classroom echoed with the sounds of Jin's cleaning, he reflected on how the day had ended surprisingly quietly. Gina hadn't exposed him, perhaps considering him too insignificant to even acknowledge. Maybe his school life would continue its uneventful path after all. Stepping into the hallway to wring out his mop, he suddenly collided with something impossibly soft, yet firm. Gina's ample chest. The impact sent Jin tumbling to the floor, mop clattering beside him as he stared up at Gina's looming figure. Sweat beaded on his forehead as he stammered questions about why she remained after school. Her vague answer did little to calm his racing thoughts. Had she waited to punish him for the drawings? When she bent down, Jin instinctively raised his arms in defense, only for her to simply retrieve the fallen mop and explain she'd also been assigned cleaning duty. Working side by side at the chalkboards, Jin noticed how uncharacteristically quiet Gina remained. The silence grew heavier with each passing minute until she finally broke it, asking his name with curious eyes. His nervous reply of Jin Daim somehow transformed into Perdador in her ears, which he didn't correct. Then came the question he dreaded. Why had he drawn her? Internally, Jin rehearsed brutal truths, how he'd sketched her as revenge for humiliating him, how she represented everything wrong with their school's social hierarchy. But when his mouth opened, only a meek apology emerged, his courage dissolving under her intense gaze. The boy who fantasized about justice now stood with hands in pockets, unable to voice even a fraction of his resentment toward the girl who dominated both the classroom and his conflicted thoughts.
A new school day began, and Gina arrived, but not alone. Her friend greeted her with a smile, only to receive a brief, indifferent response before Gina walked past. The entire school froze in disbelief as whispers spread through the hallway. Gina, the untouchable queen, was arm in arm with Jin in front of all the people. Jin's face burned with discomfort. He hated the attention, the stares, the murmurs questioning if this was some cruel joke. A girl suddenly blocked their path, pointing in shock. "This can't be real," she exclaimed. Gina shrugged, downplaying it. "We're just walking together." But the girl pressed further, demanding to know why Gina would stoop so low. With a smirk, Gina interlaced her fingers with Jin's and declared, "Say hello to my new boyfriend." The school stood paralyzed. Jin's stomach dropped. The girl refused to believe Gina, sparking hushed whispers among the students. Why would Gina reject everyone only to choose the weakest? This made no sense. With unwavering confidence, Gina reaffirmed their relationship status, flashing Jin a dazzling smile. Jin, head lowered, returned a nervous grin and confirmed they'd been dating since yesterday. Rewind to the day before, when they were cleaning the chalkboard together. When Gina asked why he'd drawn her, Jin had instinctively apologized, not because he truly regretted it, but because he hoped that would end the conversation. Yet Gina didn't seem angry at all, just curious. Stammering, Jin explained he used her as a model to practice drawing different clothing styles, since her daily outfits provided perfect material. The word mannequin slipped out, visibly irritating Gina. Jin mentally kicked himself of all the excuses. He'd chosen the worst possible phrasing. Gina stepped back, disappointed. She admitted she didn't actually care about the drawings. She posted similar photos online for money anyway. But there was one key difference. Those were consensual and paid. These sketches unauthorized. A mischievous glint appeared in her eyes as she proposed her solution. Jin would become her boyfriend to settle the debt. Jin stood frozen, struggling to process Gina's absurd demand. When he asked what she possibly gained from this arrangement, she simply stated it was fair compensation for his actions. His mind immediately raced with fantasies of romantic dates, intimate moments, even marriage, until Gina's sharp laugh snapped him back to reality. This would be fake, she clarified. A performance. Her eyes scanned him with clear disdain as she added she'd never actually date someone like him. The truth emerged. She needed a human shield against her endless stream of admirers. Jin was just a tool to make them back off. When he hesitated, Gina played her final card. Comply, or she'd expose him to the entire school as the pervert who sketched girls without consent. Trapped with no escape, Jin surrendered. He had walked into her trap the moment she found those drawings. Now, completely at her mercy, he became Gina's unwilling fake boyfriend.